Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome to Mark Bayeski YouTube channel. Wow, Cecilia, how long's it been since we have we actually done anything together in like a camera form?
No, never.
We have. We did.
When? The crystal.
No.
The crystal course?
Yeah, but prior to that, you gave a talk. You were on the documentary.
Testimonial?
Yeah, the testimonial documentary thing. Do you remember?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, I remember.
So we have
It's
been together.
many years.
It's been many years, and how long it's been? How long have we known each other?
At least 14, 15 years.
Wow, 14, 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Because Penelope, I checked on my, there she is. She died 10 years ago.
Wow,
Already.
10 years ago.
Already.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow.
So,
Well, everybody, welcome to Mark Bayeski YouTube channel. Welcome to markbayeski.com. Lily, please don't eat that. Lily, please don't eat that. Here, come for a snack. Here instead. Here, take that. Eat that. It's far more enjoyable than tissue. So yeah, hi everybody. This is the first time we've kind of been on together on. I've been wanting to have you on for ages. So for all you guys who don't know Cecilia, she came into my life 15 years?
Yeah,
15 years ago. And maybe you want to, how did it happen?
how did it happen? It happened because of a friend in common. I had a beautiful friend, Penelope. And one day she called me up and she said, Cecilia, I just spent the most amazing hour with a guy from Georgia.
You remember it word to word. You said the same thing on the on the thing, the same thing. So you remember it. So it doesn't go away.
It doesn't go away. It
My
doesn't
God.
go away. So then she said, since your birthday is coming, and my husband's too, Christians, I am going to give you a birthday present, and this is a session with Mark. Hmm?
Yeah.
No,
And
with this guy, because so far
this
I
guy,
didn't know
yeah.
your name.
Yeah.
So
And can I ask you, just stop you there, were you into psychic readings, healing sessions? Did you know? No.
Not at all.
Okay, so this is kind of like the first thing.
I think that if she would have told me that it was a psychic reading, I wouldn't have been
Interesting.
Interested.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So because she just said, look, I felt so good after an hour, then I said, well, that's a nice way of putting it, when you want to give a present to somebody because you felt good, and I want you to feel the same way.
Makes sense.
So,
and it's clever as well, because she didn't mention
no, nothing
anything
at all.
like,
Nothing at all.
did I give her a reading or was it just a healing session? Do you remember?
In those days, I think it was a reading.
A reading. So yeah, I mean, I was the same. I was invited by a lady to come somewhere because I thought I was selling my jewellery at the time, and then I ended up in this crazy house of everybody going on. So same thing with you then.
Spirit.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure
And
enough.
then what happened was, we ran late.
Yeah.
And I was all huffing and puffing when we got to Vitamina, to the basement where you were in those days.
Yeah.
And the lady, nice lady, Anna, I think was her name in Vitamina, said, no, don't worry, he's running late. So I said, there we go again.
Perfect.
Yeah. And then one thing that really amazed me is when you, after we said hello, you just touch your head like this and you said, may I ask you a question? Why is it that when I connect to your energy, I get a headache? And in those days, I have very bad migraines.
Wow.
And I told you I said, because I suffer migraines. And you just said, okay.
Oh.
Yeah. And it was just like bang on. I don't remember everything you told me. You did say that I was a free spirit. And then all of a sudden, it was like, say that again, say that again, say that again.
Wow.
And then you said, your father is here,
Yeah.
and he's telling me that you were never late because he waited for you. And I just went like, this cannot be true. Because my father died while I was flying home to see him.
Wow.
Yeah. And it was just the most amazing confirmation. So that's history.
Wow.
That's how we met.
I had no idea.
You were our birthday present.
Yeah, that's lovely. And Penelope, wasn't
She's
she?
beautiful.
I talk about Penelope to all my beautiful
Yeah.
friends on here, and talk about how kind she was, how gifted she was, and what a very special soul. So,
Absolutely.
I didn't know her that long. You knew her a lot longer
Yeah.
than me,
Yeah.
but what an energy, what a ball of life.
Yeah, yeah, and her mission here with being a guardian and preserving that natural part where she lived, you know.
Oh my God, we had a beautiful experience.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
There
I mean,
when
that
we went-
place was.
I don't know if I've ever
Magical.
told you guys about it, but we got into she kept mentioning something to do with, what was it again? She called them
Nature spirits.
nature spirits. And we got into the car to get down to where she wanted us to go. It took about 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
We drive, and we gets down to this really beautiful, like, meadow,
Yeah.
kind of like meadow,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And often talked about the white owl as well
Yeah.
down there.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, I was
Where's
given a
your
gift by
key?
Spirit. Let me grab it. While we were there, I was walking along, and I bent down, and this, guys, this came from there. So imagine how it looked. And this is a beautiful, I don't know what tree it's from, but isn't that gorgeous? And I use this for a lot of my products to take photos of, and that was a gift. And I felt it was a gift given to me. What did you feel about it down there?
Oh, it was beautiful. It was amazing because it was, and then the place was really, really magical. It was like deep into the valley behind her house, and during the rainy season, it all became a pond, a natural pond.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you remember the fires? The
The
large
fires
fires?
never touched 1 centimeter of those grounds.
Do I remember Penelope saying to you that they're protected? That they've already told her that it's not
Yeah.
going to touch her?
Actually,
her for long.
actually, Mark, what happened was that when we were driving down there the
Mhm.
second time,
Yeah.
because the first time she drove herself, then we went a second time later on with Juan. She
Mhm.
couldn't drive anymore, and you were channeling the whole time.
Really?
You were just telling us what you were receiving from Spirit, and it was amazing. Because what you were telling Penelope was, she was very sick in those days,
Yeah.
is that the nature spirits wanted to heal her, and that she should drive herself down there and spend hours there, and that she was brought to that place as a guardian
Wow.
to all that area. And then
Wow.
the white owl was mentioned, as were mentioned many animals that they were coming there to breed generation after generation.
Wow, I didn't know.
Yeah,
You know me, I
yeah,
forget
yeah.
everything. think people don't understand what channeling is
No,
sometimes.
no.
I don't think they really understand.
When you channel, you don't remember what you said.
Yeah, but then people think, oh, that you're not very good at it. Then you mustn't be in control, which means that you're not. It's dangerous, you know. It's amazing how people take channeling. You know, they sometimes see it as, you know, a man talking. Oh, there's the you know, like the old-fashioned type who then something takes over him and so. You know, channeling isn't really like that to me. That's kind of like Hollywood BS, you know. But anyway, moving forward from a beautiful soul that came into our life, and just on a final note, was she had a crystal just before she passed, right? Do you remember that?
The story of that crystal, yeah. I was told to give her a crystal, and I was told that she had to charge it with her energy. And of course, I mean, you know, when these things happen, and you are starting this path, you tend to say, "Oh my God, how am I going to do that?"
Right, exactly.
And the funny thing is that when you jump over that fear,
Yeah,
nothing happens. Everything is perfect.
that's true. Fighting the fear, just getting over that fear and just doing it. That's
So-
a big thing, eh?
I got 2 crystals, and I knew from the very beginning which one she was going to pick up.
Really?
But I just wanted to give her the
The choice.
choice. And these were days before she went home that I said, okay, here we go. And I said, Penelope, I have been told, yes, tell me. I said, I have been told that you have to have one of these crystals and you have to keep it with you all the time because you have to charge it with your energy. Okay, she said, show me. And then she picked up that one.
The one that you felt.
Exactly.
Amazing.
And she had it in her pocket every single day.
Wow. Right up. Well, I mean, one of the times I remember we were going up to give her healing sessions just before she moved into the light, and she was still brave, strong, confident, no fear.
No.
It was like this woman was something else,
Yeah, she was ready to go.
Yeah, she was something else.
Yeah.
So and from there, what made you decide? What made you decide to become a healer first of all?
It goes back to 40 years. 40 years ago, I realized that when you're growing up, you're into these patterns of religion, of this, that, and the other thing, and you really, it's not what it really is.
Right.
So one day, I was just married, and as you know, Christian had a daughter, and our difference was not that much. We were 8 years apart, so there was this competition for attention.
I see what you're saying
and
now.
one day I got home and she looked up at me and she said, I'm sorry for you. And of course, this was not the Cecilia I am now. So it was like, what do you mean? And then she said, because you are with a man who doesn't love you. Okay, I could have, choke her. But then the most amazing thing happened. And this is just like, I got this incredible sense of peace.
Wow, at that moment?
At that moment.
You are kidding.
My hands were in my pocket because I was shaking like jello. And I just said some words that were never my words. And I said, that doesn't matter because I have enough love for both of us.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
That was the beginning.
Wow.
When I then thought, that was not Cecilia.
And
where
did it come from then?
Exactly. Then I knew.
Then you knew with your next part of your, that's like your awakening almost, like this is.
Then I knew that I had to pursue this. Of course, then I didn't know how. So it was, in those days, there was a lot of, they were working a lot with the Holy Spirit and the renewal, and which is basically energy.
Of course.
And that's how the whole thing started. So then many years, many countries where I couldn't get enough of that because of they were not into it because of the different languages and whatever, until I came here. And then Penelope came, you came, and from then I knew what I wanted to do. It also was triggered by the death of my father. Because then I had to spend some time in Peru, and through that also meditations and sessions and crystal bowls, which I met for the first time there. Beautiful. I discovered there. So it was like a parallel thing.
Amazing. It all just comes together really.
Everything was coming together. And then if you remember, I was one of your students in your first ever healing course.
I do. I remember that first. There was Jane.
There was Jane. White Feather.
White Feather is Harriet.
And
the other girl, I never remember the name.
Yeah, Yana or Yamba.
Something like that. Yeah. Where was she from?
Lebanon,
yeah. And there was 4 of us and me sharing for the first time what I'd learned and sharing it with you guys. Really, really fascinating because we roll on a few years later, and then I decided to have an open weekend, and it was called Illuminate, and I wanted it all to be free, and I want everybody to come and experience it. And I'd like, if possible, I don't know, I think, you were involved, and we talk about, negative energy, sometimes things are a little bit difficult, sometimes it's a little bit challenging with people, what they're feeling, going through, and what sometimes we call entities or attachments. I recall somebody while I was downstairs and you guys were all upstairs, there was a conversation and I can't remember it exactly, but I remember somebody getting bit because of a certain situation. Do you want to take us through that? You remember what happened?
Yeah, it was a lady came and it was my turn. So because the healers, we were all going down, meeting the people, bringing them
it was
up.
rotating from healer to healer.
Yeah, and it was like 20-30 minutes per person, per patient, and then we would just walk them downstairs and come up with a new one, with the next one. So there came this girl, and the moment I put my hands on her head, I felt like her whole body was kind of going in waves.
Wow.
And I gave her healing, and then I realized that it would be nice to work with somebody else.
Okay.
So as I looked up, I saw another healer that had just finished. So I just said, ask him to come over, and we continued helping her, and that was okay.
Was she okay? Was she just lying there? No?
She was lying there. She calmed down. It was fun to go through the process with her, because then she really was cooperating. Fantastic, really. And then she said, after we went with her downstairs, she said, "Can I have your number?" And I don't know why I said yes, and I gave her my number. I was staying at the hotel, and then the next morning, before breakfast, she calls me and she said, "Can I come back again today?" And I said, "Of course." But then I said, "No, I want to work with another healer."
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I spoke to them and I said, "Look, this girl is coming back. Could we work together?"
There must have been a reason why you actually said that. You must have felt something. Maybe you didn't know, but maybe you did. But there's something within your consciousness that, because you wouldn't normally ask for two or people to help, right?
Yeah, there was something there.
Yeah.
And so when she came, we were ready. We were at the beginning too.
Yeah.
But this got much stronger than the day before.
So the waves became something.
The wave, she was moving from right and left, and she was arching her body and
very common.
Very common. And then at one point I was holding her hands, and she was just going into my skin with her nails, and she just bit me. But it was all part of, when you are healing, your mind is not there, so there's nothing like fear.
Right.
You're neutral. You're flowing.
Neutral is a perfect word. Yeah. You're channeling.
Exactly.
You're neither fearful. You're just doing a job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so true.
And you know when to start and when to finish, because you feel this energy. You know when that is enough. Sometimes it doesn't need to be an hour. No. Sometimes it can be less. Yeah. So. And then finally, when the whole thing finished, that there were some screamings, and you were downstairs talking, and she became louder and louder.
I heard.
And then,
we all heard.
But what happened was that at the end of this, when she was just smiling and so calm and relaxed, she said, "Well, the last time it was even worse." And I thought to myself, what are you doing with your life? What are you allowing yourself to open the door to this?
It's so true. In fact, we're talking about this now more than ever. Yeah. Because there's so much talk about different energy in the world now, different frequencies, different entities, different things happening. But they've always been there, to be fair. Yeah. So if you were to summarize on that, a healing session, no matter if you're feeling bad or if you feel that you've got negative entity in you, a healing session is still a healing session. You don't really do anything any different, but just give healing. Yeah. And your thought patterns, your thoughts and your feelings in the sense of disappears, and you just do a job, and that whatever it is disappears.
Absolutely.
But this is a big but I mentioned today on one of my lives. It's up to you then, as the person who's received that healing, what are you going to do thereafter?
Exactly.
Because we can't hold their hand.
No.
We can show them that it's easy to clear, but what are you doing to either keep yourself clean and tidy and healed and healthy, or what are you doing to receive that energy back again? And that's something that is really now, I think, vital that people need to understand.
It's vital, and they have, I think that it's about bringing awareness. It's bringing awareness, because when we think about detox, it's always physical. When we talk about abundance, it's always material. It's not. It goes beyond that.
So true.
So if you want to detox, you have to detox your environment, your thoughts, what you see, what you read.
Yes.
So, and going back to this lady, she was into tranquilizers. So
Right.
no wonder she was attacked all the time, because she couldn't build up a defense mechanism against the entities. She was lowering her guard through chemicals, and they were coming back. This is why she said, "Oh yeah, last time it was worse." I said, "Wait a second, so there was a last time?"
Right. Interesting. Do you feel that when you're dealing with people who have these kind of situations, that non-evasive, non-force is best, rather than their moment will come when they understand? Or do you think you need to sometimes sit them down and talk to them harshly and say, look, you need to resolve this, especially when we're talking about medical interference, because we have to be careful, because it only takes them to say something to somebody. I think we have to be careful, because imagine you said, well, it's because you're taking this medication, but she might be taking the medication because she's not altogether balanced without it. She stops taking it and she tells her sister or a partner, and she does something crazy to herself. What's going to happen to you? So we have to be careful.
Very careful.
So I try and explain that to healers out there and friends, is not to interfere. And when they're ready, I think the penny will either drop or it won't. But it's up to us not to interfere, but that our work should actually speak for itself. The healing should speak for itself.
Yes, it has, because you don't know, and they are not going to come and tell you everything what that are doing right or wrong.
Right.
So it's a matter, you help them in that way, and it's not, we are not doing the job.
Right.
We're just channeling energy. So it's like nothing to do with us.
Right.
So they are there to get what they need to get through us. So there's nothing, and this is why I like so much what you say. You always say, before a healing session, you used to say, "I'm not here to make miracles, but I can do my best." And as a healer, you do your best, because it's a responsibility to be a healer. You have to be you have to feel well in order to do it.
Or else.
If you are not 100%, you call them and you cancel it, and they don't understand it, and they get mad. But it's
been there, done it.
So you know when you are ready.
It's a huge responsibility being a healer. So any healers out there, you've got my gratitude, as also my respect, for sure. Healers now, what they're going through, they've got my respect, because they've taken a lot on to deal with that. That's why I try and share all my mistakes.
It's important.
My mistakes help them not make the mistakes, hopefully, or if they make it, well, Mark did it, so now I understand that. So we talked about illuminate. I'd like to just to finalise, this has been a beautiful chat. I wanted to have you on for half an hour just to introduce you to everybody. So from learning pure energy healing and other things that you've done, modalities, you've gone down a path into sound therapy now. And you're a very successful sound therapy healer in the Costa del Sol. And how did that happen?
Again, it was something parallel, because while I was healing myself in Peru, I was introduced to the healing bowls. And so some of the meditations were done with through sound therapy. And it was very interesting, because as I mentioned, my father died and I was not present. But then I had a session there and I could say bye bye to him. But it was amazing what he said. I didn't understand it at that moment because when he spoke, then things were materializing.
Was this in the spiritual sense when he spoke, or when he was alive?
No, in a spiritual. For example, he told me, you see all those documents on the table? There was no table, but all of a sudden it would materialize. These documents
I get what you're saying now, yeah.
And said, roll them and give them to the person that is at your right. Then I turned around and I saw somebody there that wasn't there before.
Wow.
So I was rolling these documents,
Yeah.
these papers.
Yeah.
The blueprints that you put into a cylinder to protect them. And I just hand this to the person here, and then came my father's words: as long as you do not heal, the paperwork won't go through.
Wow. So what he was saying is that you need to heal for everything else to
It
mend.
took me 9 months in Peru.
Wow.
Back and forth, yeah.
Wow.
But in those moments, in that time, it was a workshop with crystal balls.
Yeah.
So it's all parallel.
Yeah.
And then when I came back here after a few years, I said, why not?
Why not?
So I remember I called somebody who's doing the crystal balls for a long time, and I said, look, I would like to get some. I said, I know that it's not the really brand with the frequencies and all that. They are from China, they're
To
being
begin
sold.
with. Yeah.
He said, never underestimate sound.
Exactly. No matter where it comes from.
He
So
said,
true.
buy them, and if you're happy with them, keep them.
Yeah.
And this is what I started doing. At the beginning, it was just like you have to find your way, and then all of a sudden, it was just like, this can work for that, and that can work for this. And then the crystal balls, they have also changed, because first they were just frosted and only quartz, but now it's like they have developed an alchemy, because as the frequency of the earth rises, so is the frequency of the sound.
Wow.
So now it's like you have fantastic combinations, and it goes like higher and higher and higher.
Really?
It's fantastic.
So when you buy them, you don't do you buy them because you want to go higher and higher, or do you buy them different frequency to how you feel?
No.
Is it like a crystal when you buy one or not?
It's now what I'm doing is I'm looking for harmony. So now I'm much more picky, because I want to have a certain sound, a certain note that it's going to combine with 2 or 3.
Do you now feel? Sorry for interrupting. Do you now feel that you recognize a frequency to what it means and how it heals?
No. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I can, but it's so. The variety is so incredible, and when you do the combinations, it's so fantastic.
Okay, so what? Because what I'm thinking is like, you're right. Obviously, you're right. Of course, you are. If I get a crystal and feel the energy from it, and I give it to somebody else, it feels differently. So if I'm doing this with a singing bowl, it might heal one person in their head and somebody in their heart.
Exactly.
So we now realize that every frequency is going to be different on each person, as
yeah.
well as using 3 or 5 bowls.
Yeah.
Now the frequency is complete. So when you use different sounds on each time you do a session, do you feel you're channeling certain frequencies for your clients? Is that how it works?
Yes, and also because I still combine healing.
Yeah.
I still do pure energy healing.
Wow.
So the session is half and half.
Oh, I didn't know. That's so beautiful.
So I do the pure energy healing, and as I speak, my hands are really tingling because it's always the same.
That's amazing.
And so I do the pure energy healing, and then later, when I finish that, then I play the crystal balls, and I never know which one is going to call me. Sometimes I put a ball on top of the person in the stomach.
Wow.
Sometimes I walk around. And it's a combination, and
Are
it's
they
working
lying? Are the
fantastically.
clients lying down or are they in a seat?
No, they're lying on
That-
one of the beds.
Beautiful.
And the crystal balls are on the ground, on the floor
How
level.
many crystal balls do you have,
You don't want to
Cecilia?
know.
I do want to know. Everybody wants to know. Do you want to know how many crystal balls? It's kind of funny. We have a joke. We talk about this a lot because that's it now, no more. This is what I say about crystals. No more now.
Yeah.
That's it. No
Yeah.
more.
Next time, I'm going to bring that picture because you made me sign a paper years ago saying, "This is my last crystal ball," and we both signed
You
it.
know,
right?
yeah, we were just. I was just. You know me. I just have a joke.
I know.
It's fun. It's great because every time we buy one, you know, it's like I'm not. That's it. No more.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I need to get another one.
Well, now I don't say I need to get another one.
No.
Now it's like they come to me.
Yeah, they just come. It's beautiful.
But
eh?
you know the story of the last two that I channeled.
No.
Okay, I'm there meditating and I hear charcoal, and I just say charcoal, and I'm just imagining this crystal ball made out of charcoal. And I said, I've
Really?
never heard about
No,
it.
no,
I said,
no.
I'm imagining
Yeah,
things.
yeah,
What's wrong
yeah,
with me?
Yeah.
And I looked for a charcoal one, and I found one in Germany.
You are kidding. So
So-
a charcoal bowl.
Charcoal crystal ball,
Wow.
right? Good. And then
Wow.
just a few weeks after, shungite. And then I said, no. This cannot be possible. I said, this is marked that it's working with shungite, and I have shungite
In
here.
my mind,
And
yeah.
in my mind, it cannot be possible.
Yeah, it's great that you actually have this conversation because to me that's how it should be. Like, okay, we just don't believe anything.
Yeah.
We have an argument in our minds. That's me all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, how do you know? Like, yeah. So, did
And-
you find a chungai?
Well, I called immediately since it was in Germany that I found this hard to get charcoal. Then I found, she said, shungite? No, I don't have any shungite. And then I called my supplier. And then he said, well, because of COVID, we are not traveling, but I'm going to do, my next order is going to be by phone.
Right.
So let me ask them. And within minutes, he comes back and he says, yes,
They've got
one
them.
shungite.
I'm sure, yeah. It's
And I said,
incredible.
okay, it's for me.
And have you got them now?
Yes.
And how does shungite feel?
It's a very, it stands by itself.
Really?
Yeah.
So it doesn't like interact with everybody else at the moment. It just stays as a singular.
It's a fa, so it works for the heart,
Mm-hmm.
basically, but because of the material,
Yeah.
this is the fascinating thing about it, because according to the notes, they go to certain areas, but according to the frequency, you can do other things. And if you add the material, it's even more.
Wow.
So basically what you do is, if we ever have a chance, I'm going to fill a crystal bowl with water, and you're going to see what happens to the water inside the crystal bowl.
Yeah, I can imagine it's beautiful.
It's like sparkling water.
I can imagine it's
And this
absolutely
is exactly
beautiful.
what happens to your fluid part in your body.
Wow.
So it's the
same
best
thing.
way to unblock.
Because it's like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
clearing it
Yeah,
all. It's
yeah.
like a fountain. It's like a natural, what's it called, waterfall.
Yeah.
And the ozone that it creates, you create a natural.
Yeah.
Wow, this is
It's
incredible.
fantastic.
Would you
It's
do?
really
Would you do us a great favour? Would you next time? Would you come up with your singing bowls and we'll put this on the ground?
Sure.
Put the singing bowls here, and we'll have a singing bowl meditation.
Sure. we
When
can do
when
that.
when would you like to do that? So then everybody knows what's a good day for you.
It can be next week, Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday.
Okay, so like if we can, maybe Tuesday next week would be great,
Yeah.
and we'll do it. I'm not so sure whether you want to do it live or not. Maybe we should just record it and then put it out
Yeah.
there, or on Monday or Tuesday, whatever day works for you. Okay, let me know.
If it is not going to be live, it can be done any other time.
Totally true, yeah,
Yeah.
we can do it anytime, but that's what we'll do.
Good.
So I just wanted to share Cecilia with you guys. I can count my friends on one hand, and Cecilia is one of those friends. Cecilia's helped me through my most challenging times when I fell off my motorbike. You were there to help, one of two people. but you've been there every day. You've always been the kindest soul, and whenever I'm feeling down, you're always a caring ear. You're a natural healer without the singing bowls, without pure energy healing. You're a rare soul, and I just wanted to share everybody with you. And I don't know whether you would want people, if they come to the Costa del Sol and think, oh, I'd love to just be with Cecilia and have a singing bowl one day. I don't know if you would have the space, or would you be happy with that, or yeah?
I love it.
Okay.
I love
so
it.
what I'll do is maybe put the something here to send a message to I don't know, somewhere that they can get in contact with you if they ever come to the Costa del Sol.
Or we add it to the healers list that you have, and we just put in parentheses singing bowls.
Yeah, we'll figure it out anyway. But for now, thank you for being here. I hope you all enjoyed it.
Thank you for asking.
Yeah, I don't know why. I just thought I need Cecilia here today. Please come. I asked you yesterday, and it was on short notice, and you're always here for us. So thank you so much, Cecilia. Thank you, guys. Have a lovely day from Cecilia and myself. Have a beautiful day.